Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Okay, okay. Can y'all hear me now? If you in the if you can see this, let me know if you can hear me. Okay, okay. Can y'all hear me now? If you in the if you are if you can see this, let me know if you can hear me. I just want to make sure my audio is right before I go ahead and dig into the meat and potatoes of today's stream. I got to make sure my audio is straight. Make sure my audio is A1 and I'm coming right along. Go ahead and dig into. Make sure my audio is A1. I'm coming right along. All right, I think my audio good. I do believe my audio is situated. So let me do this number right here. Cool. What's up, traders? In today's segment, what I'm gonna be going over, I'm gonna talk about Medallia a little bit. Medallia is this is the stock market. I typically trade cryptocurrencies, but I'm trying to switch gears a little bit and just take some cryptocurrency and roll it over into the stock market and catch some breakouts and things on the stock market. Just try to diversify myself a little bit better than I am currently. So this is Medallia, right? I talked about Medallia back on what my original post was, December 15th, when I posted Medallia. I talked about Medallia and the price action that was setting up in this video. The title of this stock is setting up for massive gains in 2021. Find it available on Robinhood. I reshared the post as price action started to move back on January 8th. And so just basically what I went over in that video, I went over this price action that you see here on Medallia, right? So what you see on Medallia is the textbook inverse head and shoulders. Like I was on the Moment of Clarity podcast yesterday. Shout out to them guys, Quinn Sharon, Frank Sharon, DY. Jose was in the building. Shout out to them guys for having me on their platform yesterday. And I did a lot of talking about technical analysis in that video. Like that's where I derive my sentiment from, right? And how I make my plays when I'm out here trading and investing. So this is what you're looking at now. This is the technical analysis. Some people like to use fundamental analysis. I'm more of a technical guy. I like to get an overall idea of how everyone who's holding this asset, Medallia, MDLA, I like to get a feel of how the investors feel. Everyone who's holding this asset. That's what trading allows me to do. It allows me to get a general idea of how the stockholders who's holding this stock, how they feel about it. And right now, it looks like they're bullish on Medallia. Medallia is in the tech industry. You can look them up. They seem to be a pretty good company. I did very minimum research on them, which is a mistake on my behalf. But I hate to say this, especially on live, like, I really don't care about fundamentals that much. I know that's not smart, so I don't need y'all to come down on me for saying that. I know that's not smart. I know you should care because technically how well the company is doing is going to show here in their stock. So, I mean, come on, I know that much. But I saw this price action setting up from a technical analysis standpoint. So that's what made me look into Medallia. So let's get into the technicals. What you see on the screen is a textbook inverse head and shoulders pattern, right? So what's an inverse head and shoulders, right? So I took the liberty to go to Investopedia to do a bit of education, just a little bit, so that way you can see what an inverse head and shoulders pattern is and why I'm buying Medallia, right? So inverse head and shoulders pattern, I ain't gonna read all that. It's just inverse head and shoulders. It's similar to the standard head and shoulders pattern, but inverted with the head and shoulders top used to predict reversals and downtrends. I talked last night how my favorite trade setup, right, are reversal patterns, right? And so that's what we have here with the inverse head and shoulders. Also, an inverse head and shoulders pattern upon completion signals a bull market, right? Investors typically enter into a long position when the prices rise above the resistance of the neckline. So what are they talking about? You see, this is the neckline, right? And this is the breakout. This neckline has been acting as resistance for price. As you can see here, it tried to break above it here, or originally here when price came up. Here, it tried to break that neckline. It failed, came back down, tried to break that neckline again. The neckline is acting as resistance. It fell down again, came up and tried to break the neckline once again. But what is the neckline acting like, traders? It's acting like resistance. It's keeping the price pushed down, preventing it from going up any higher. And then you finally have your breakout here when price finally breaks above this neckline. So inverse head and shoulders in a nutshell, bullish pattern. So tell me this, traders, have I or have I not found, right, an inverse head and shoulders on Medallia? And this is, and the thing that's so bullish about this, right, this is Medallia's total existence, right? So the price action for Medallia, right, in its entirety is an inverse head and shoulders. So I'm gonna let that sink for a little bit, right? So we went back and looked at an inverse head and shoulders and what it meant, right? So Medallia's total price action, right? All of it, not just in a certain time frame. Medallia's price action to its entirety is an inverse head and shoulders, very bullish. And so what we have here, we have let me make this big. We have the breakout happening. So that's why I went on ahead and took a nibble on Medallia. I don't tell people what to do with their money. If you want to buy Medallia on Robinhood, go ahead and feel free. But if you don't buy it, you can add it to your watch list and we can track it together and see, man, what this guy talking about, these breakouts and inverse head and shoulders, and see if the TA gets respected, the technical analysis, right? TA. Short for technical analysis. We'll just see if the TA gets respected on this, man. Before you buy anything, like, I don't care what type of investment it is, always have a plan for an entry and an exit, man. That's the responsible thing to do. You can't be going out here willy-nilly buying stocks and just hoping that they go up over time. You have to, before you invest, you have to learn how to read charts to a certain degree. You don't have to be an expert. I'm not an expert. I just been around these things long enough, and I know price action when I know different setups when I see it. That's all it is to it, man. That's all it is to it. So I got my targets right here. You see what I'm looking at, what I'm looking to make, or shall I say, my return on my investment. You can see what I'm looking at. So my first target is 23%, right? 23%. I'm looking at that first, and that magically is this previous high, right? So that's where I determined that target from. And this is my second target here at let me reverse. So my first target is at $43. Medallia is currently trading at $37. So it's up $2 whole dollars since I made my entry at $35.37, almost $2 whole dollars when I entered my position at $35.37. So I'm looking, my first target is $43.47. That's where I will take some profit out of this trade. I'm gonna scale out. I'm not gonna pull out the whole boatload at one time. I'm gonna take profits at 23%, and then when it reaches my final target here at 54%, I'll pull profits here, and I'm gonna leave some in just in case this thing wants to keep going up, as it would be in price discovery mode once it breaks this all-time high here. So that's Medallia. Inverse head and shoulder pattern setup. Textbook. I mean, take it with a grain of salt, whatever. Put it on your watch list, and let's track this thing as we keep it moving. So that's Medallia. Last night on the podcast, Brandon Rice asked me about Litecoin. So I'm going to talk about Litecoin really quickly. He asked me, I think he asked, was it a good investment? So Brandon, this is for you right here. This is totally for you. So this is Litecoin. And my answer to your question, is Litecoin a great investment in cryptocurrency? My answer to that is going to be yes. And especially as long as Bitcoin is doing good. These major altcoins, right? And when I say altcoins is just short for alternative. Anything outside of Bitcoin is considered to be an altcoin. An altcoin is just alternative. So you can hear me saying altcoins. I'm just talking about all the slew of other cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the OG. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. And the rest of them are grouped, we call altcoins. So yes, Litecoin is a great investment in cryptocurrency as long as Bitcoin is doing good. Why do I say that? So let's take a look at Litecoin's price action. This is a trade I entered, I think it's back in December, on Litecoin. First target hit, second target hit, and 20. Yes, that's right. You're saying that correct. My third target on Litecoin is 228%. That's an ROI on my money. All right, 35% target has already been hit. 114, that's a whole flip, has already been hit. Next target, 218. So I caught this breakout, and before I dig any deeper, let's take a look at let's do some analysis, right? Let's look at Bitcoin's price action, and let's look at let's look at Litecoin's price action and compare it with Bitcoin. The reason why I say yes, Mr. Rice, it is a good investment as long as Bitcoin is doing good. Let me get right to it. Okay, I need to go back to trading view. Let me go back to Bitcoin USD. All right, this is the, I was doing some explaining on this chart the other day. That's not even important. Okay, so this is the weekly time frame, right? So let me make this bigger. All right, God, look at that rip though, man. Yeesh. Look at that rip up. God knows. And people upset about this little pullback. I bet you are, because you bought up here at the top. Like, bro, you bought at the top. That's why you upset right now, because you bought the top. Who does that? Who does that? If you're working with people telling you to buy the top, when Bitcoin is at its all-time high, buying the top and not waiting for a dip to properly enter and dollar cost averaging in, bro, come holler at me, DM me, dog. I got you. Anyway, so this is Bitcoin's price action. Like, take a look at this, right? And this is why I say Litecoin is a great investment as long as Bitcoin is doing good. Because look how Litecoin is pegged with Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin's price action. This is Bitcoin, US dollar, compared with the US dollar on a weekly time frame. Look at Bitcoin's price action. Just keep this in mind. You see this you see this thrust upward here, followed by the sell-off, right? You see this upward, you see this thrust here, followed by the sell-off. You see this is COVID-19. This is when COVID crash. Came back down, thrust upward, came back down, COVID crash, and you see this breakout. Now let's look at good old Litecoin. Let's look at good old Litecoin. Same type of price action, right? Look at Litecoin. Same initial up thrust, sell off, up thrust. Here we go, another up thrust, COVID dip, then breakout. So Litecoin's price action mimics Bitcoin, and with being armed with that information, right? What you could do, like if you were, especially if you had caught this breakout, like I did, Litecoin was trading at what when it broke out? Well, my entry was actually at $68. So $68, I bought some Litecoin. So if you was entering into the stock market and you knew that Litecoin's price action follows Bitcoin's, you could have came in, said you had about $500 that you were willing to invest and lose and didn't care about. You could have took that $500 and bought you some Litecoin, right? Took advantage of this whole flip right here, right? Made you a quick $1,000, and this was rather quickly because it only took from let's see, November 16th until January, 2 months for 100% return on your bread. That's not a long time at all. That's damn good. So you could have bought you some Litecoin with $500, took advantage of this flip. Now you got $1,000, and you could have used that $1,000 to go in and buy Bitcoin if that's what you really wanted. So yes, Mr. Rice, Litecoin is a good investment as long as Bitcoin is doing good, and we see what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is in a bull market, so I ain't gonna say that. You can you can come to a conclusion, using technical analysis, what you're looking at, that you probably get price continuation to the upside with Litecoin, unless something comes out with this whole presidential stuff and everything going on out there to shake a lot of people. So yeah, and look at this to a T, man. Look at this to a T. Look at Litecoin's price action, and let's look at Bitcoin price action, right, on the weekly. So you see Litecoin had this sell-off on the 11th, right? January 11th. Look at what Litecoin did. Now let's go look at what Bitcoin did on January 11th. On January 11th, look at what Bitcoin did. Same thing. It sold off. You see how Litecoin is pegged with Bitcoin's price action? I mean, it's really textbook, you know what I'm saying? To the sense of how Litecoin follows BTC price action. So as long as Bitcoin is doing good, Litecoin should follow suit. So while I got y'all, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. I can't help myself from laughing every time I think about this, man. All right, let's look at Bitcoin USD. Let me see if this is a good chart. Is this my? Yes. So in the podcast last night, I was talking about these bear markets and things like that, right? So this is the 2018 bear market, right? This was the signal when Bitcoin broke out of this 2018 bear market. That was the signal, and I did a video talking about this. I ain't no cap in my rep. I called this break, hook, and go pattern, right? Coming out of 2018 bear market, coming out of this bear market. And what a bear market is, bro, it's just an extended period of time where price consolidates, right? You see price consolidated in this wedge. I'm gonna call it a wedge just for the sake of argument. It's kind of a symmetrical triangle, you can call it, but we'll just call it a wedge pattern, right? You see Bitcoin's price action trade within this consolidation pattern, this wedge pattern, for 959 days. So that's a lot of suppression. Bitcoin stayed suppressed for 959 days, bro. That's almost 3 years, I think, if I'm doing the math right. So for 3 years, it took Bitcoin to break out of this. And once it finally broke out, it performed what's called the famous break, hook, and go, where price came up, right? That's the breakout. Then it hooked back down. Look at this, man. Bro, this was technical analysis. I don't need y'all news stations, bro. That's all I need. This is my CNN. This is my Fox 50. So we got the breakout, and you see how price rolled back over? That's the hook, right? And price hooked back over and came down to retest, right? Where it originally broke out from, right? Where it originally broke out from, confirmed it as support, right? The floor is their support, confirmed it as support, and took off. That's the famous break, hook, and go. So once you got that break, that hook, and you saw price start to close above this right here, you knew that was the go. It was on. And I screamed to the top of my lungs about this, but that's in the past. Ain't nothing we can do about that, right? So that's in the past. What can we do moving forward since we missed that, you ask? So 2018 bear market, you see Bitcoin broke out of it. That was the signal. So what can we expect? So like anything, man, if you want to take a glimpse into the future, you have to take a look into the past. This is not the exchange that I want to be on. So let me go to Bitstamp. An exchange is where you buy and sell cryptocurrency. And the reason why I'm going to Bitstamp is because rather than GDAX right now, because Bitstamp has been buying Bitstamp has had Bitcoin on there available for purchase for longer than Coinbase, so it has more data. You want to use exchanges that has the most data on the asset that you're trading, right? So let's look at 2015 real quick, and then we'll break it down and look at what Bitcoin is doing right now. We'll develop a little thesis. We'll develop probability of what could happen. So this is the 2015 bear market. Same type of deal. Bitcoin and what started 2013, October 2013, all the way to February 2016. Another 3-year period where Bitcoin was suppressed and trading in this wedge pattern and consolidation pattern for 3 years before it broke out. And look at this breakout and tell me if this breakout doesn't resemble the one I just showed you. Look how price broke out. It hooked back over, confirmed this breakout as support before it went bananas. That's how I was so confident in that call, because I've seen it before, you know? And like I said, history don't repeat, but it often rhymes, right? And so look at these pullbacks along the way for everybody who's shitting their britches because Bitcoin dumped 20% yesterday, the other day. You see this pullback? Pullbacks are natural in bull markets, right? Look at this pullback here. Like, price shot up. Bull market has started at this point. Look at this correction. Boom, this is natural. Correction, the red candles represent price dropping. Look at this correction. Boom, correction, boom. But look at the trend. The trend is still upward. And the trend is your friend. As long as you're in an upward trend, you're fine. So, and let me tell you, Bitcoin right now at $37,000. And it fell 20% yesterday. Tell me the trend is well intact, people. Be careful where you get your information from out here, man. People go around, read one article, then they become geniuses, bro. Be careful where you get your information and bite on this. Look at Bitcoin the last time it broke out. And you tell me. Come in the comments when you watch this and y'all tell me what y'all think. I know anything can happen, but I'm just developing sentiment. That's why you have to be responsible. Let's look at this breakout, right? Let's look at when Bitcoin broke out of the 2015 bear market. Did price not rise 4,000%, y'all? Tell me. I mean, you see the similarity in the breakout, right? That break cook and go, right? Suppressed 3 years bear market. When it finally got the breakout in 2015, look at what happened. And this is just retail investors. Let's talk about this breakout and how it's different this time around. So 4,000% price increase when it broke out last bear market. We broke out of this bear market. Whew, doesn't that look very similar? So this time around, you have institutional money coming into Bitcoin for the very first time ever. Bitcoin is popular for the very first time ever. We wouldn't be having this conversation back here in 2015, 2016, bro, we won't be sitting right here talking about Bitcoin. So you got Bitcoin popularity has grown. You can go on Google and look up Bitcoin search history, and you'll see now people are searching Bitcoin in Google at all-time highs. So Bitcoin has gained a lot more exposure, right? Now you have institutional money coming in for the very first time ever. Back here, this 4,000%, we did that. Retail investors did that. Just your regular smuggler people did that. Now you got these hedge funds, you got banks, you got Jack Dorsey, Cash App, 50. Oh, Jack Dorsey, thank you, Jack Dorsey. If we could ever meet in person, I will gift you some Bitcoin, my brother, because when he announced on October 8th, Jack Dorsey announced on October 8th, right? This is right here in that break, cook, and go pattern. Where are you? This week here. This is the week where Jack Dorsey came out and announced that Cash App was buying 50 million in Bitcoin. Since when he came out and did that, they followed suit with PayPal opening up their app for crypto purchases and crypto. They didn't invest any money, but they have 300 million users. So that's 300 million more people that got exposed to Bitcoin through PayPal. Thank you, PayPal. Thank you, Cash App. MicroStrategy, thank you, came out and announced they were raising funds to buy 650 million in Bitcoin. Thank you, MicroStrategy. Grayscale, Trust, right? Trust Fund. Thank you. They came out and they bought like 100 million in Bitcoin. And ever since these institutional investors start taking an interest into Bitcoin, look at what happened. And the retail investors hadn't even came into the market yet. Wall Street Insider told me that. Retail investors haven't even came into the market. This is just institutions coming in. They see the same thing that I see. They saw Bitcoin break out of the 2018 bear market, right? They saw the same thing that I saw. So where is price going now? I don't know. I can't tell you where it's going. But I have a sentiment. I have an idea, right? And I'm just using probability to plan my entry and exits with Bitcoin. So where it's going next, I don't know. You asking the wrong one. I don't have a magic crystal ball. I just use technical analysis to determine my entries and my exits. So Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now. What is it doing right now? Like, let's go to the hourly. Now I'm going to the hourly time frame. So each one of these candles, each one of these candles represent an hour worth of price action, right? So you see we got the new candle just started. We got 57 minutes before this candle closed, an hour, right? And so we got the breakout. Looked at this earlier. We got the breakout. We're trading another consolidation pattern. You know, this is a symmetrical triangle. We're trading this consolidation pattern. We got the breakout. Looks very similar to the bull market, to the bear market, right? That it broke out of, right? And now we've climbed above this 200-day moving average. That was my first target earlier. I mean, I didn't enter this trade because I already got Bitcoin. So I didn't enter this trade. I was just, tracking it and trying to get an idea of where price may go. As you can see, I got my target here, right here, 41. So if Bitcoin can close on the daily above, where are you? I might have to go to the 4 hour to find it. Let me go to the 4 hour real quick. It's only gonna take me a second. All right, 4 hour chart. Where are you? Here. This is the candle, right? All right, where is that? I'm sorry, fellas and ladies, if y'all are in here too. I do apologize. Where? I should have put it on the chart. It's like 30. It's above it now. Here. I think it's here. It's where I had my sentiment. What is that? 37.5. Where were you? What chart? What time frame was that on? I do apologize. What time frame was that on? Was it on the daily? Where it was clear than ever. Here. This is it. This is it. 30. Is it 37? Or was it? What's the high? 34? No. This thing that took off, it got me confused. I'm sorry, y'all. It was on the 4 hour chart. It was a candle that broke. It was acting as resistance, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we're going to get this right. Don't worry about it. I think it was the 4 hour because it looks like a head and shoulders was forming, which is breaking out of that. It wasn't this. It wasn't this high. Let me go to my other chart real quick. Let me go to my other chart real quick. This is the weekly time frame. Let me go to the daily. Where's that 13 moving average? Here we go. 34, that's what it was. $34,800. So if Bitcoin can close above pretty much $35,000 on the daily, which ends in what we got about 2 hours left before this daily candle close. If Bitcoin can close above $35,000, it'll be on its way to, it could be on its way to retest this all-time high. As you can see, we got the breakout. Let's go back to the hourly. All right, got my train of thought back. So we got the breakout, and we are now above this 200-day moving average. That was like the first check in the box. If price could get above this 200-day moving average, then we had a shot at going up. Well, looky here. Bitcoin has gotten above the 200-day moving average, and we can close above that. If we could close above this 200-day moving average, bro, we could be really seeing this 18% target play out, and that lines right up with pretty much all-time highs around about $41,000. What is that price level? Yeah, about $41,200. So that's the target on this trade that on Bitcoin just breaking out. Now, will it run up and break all-time highs? We don't know. That's to be seen. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I just use technical analysis to find my entry and my exits, right? So if I was trading this, let me check the comments, see if I got any comments. Oh, damn, my phone went dead. All right, cool. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll get back to y'all with some comments. But yeah. So we got above the 200-day moving average, which is a positive sign. Let's get a close above it, right? Let's get a close above that 35K. Better yet, even better than that, let's get a close above this 200-day moving average, right? Let's get a close above that. That will be even more bullish, and Bitcoin could be running up to test this its all-time highs around about $41,200. So that's Bitcoin setup. And if you were trading this, say if you came in with like a rack or something, I don't know. $1,000, your first target would have been the 200-day moving average. Because the reason why I keep referencing this 200-day moving average is because it acts as support and resistance, right? The 200-day moving average is respected in cryptocurrency trading, especially Bitcoin. I'm not sure about other markets because I haven't been trading that as well, but I know in crypto, the 200 moving average is respected. Like, let's just go back in history and see how this 200-day moving average is respected, right? You see price here, like this is price. Let's follow price to make this big. Let's follow price. You see, once price broke above the 200-day, let me make sure you all can see this 200-day moving average too. Let me style. All right. Is that better? I hope y'all can see that better. So once price here, let's look at this dip here. Once price broke below this 200-day moving average, right? It didn't confirm it as support. Look at the dip. Once price rallied up and broke this 200-day moving average, look at how price action, followed through. And look at it. Look how it just rode this 200-day moving average. Like, look at all these touches, right? Fell, broke. Once it broke beneath, look at price fall out. Once it got this break, look, boom, right? Now look at this uptrend. Look how price has been respecting this 200-day moving average in this uptrend. Look how it repeatedly comes down, bounces off it, acting as support, right? Came down here. Look at price wicked all the way down past it, but buyers stepped in because they said, oh, she was below the 200-day moving average. It's been treating it as support. So bids came in at this level. So you got buyers respecting the 200-day moving average every time we touch it and get close. And we finally broke beneath it again. And look how hard it's been to get back above it. Like, look at this right here. Look at this drop, right? Look at price drop. And look at it went right up to the 200-day moving average and got rejected like clockwork. Textbook stuff. And now price came, it rallied, buyers are buying this thing back up, and now it's pushed it above the 200-day moving average, which acts as support and resistance for price. It's simple as that. And now we're above it. Now Bitcoin has a shot at reaching its all-time highs again if it can close above this 200-day moving average and keep it that way. So that's about all I got. I just want to go as a little quick run through. Medallia, Robinhood. Bullish setup. Bullish as fuck. Right? Bullish setup on Medallia. Trading on Robinhood. We talked about it. The inverse head and shoulders pattern. Talked about what that was. Bullish as fuck. And you got the breakout of the neckline. And what time is it? Is trading closed on the stock market? What time is it? Yes, it's 5 o'clock. I might have some after hour stuff going on, but pretty much the trading is done today on the New York Stock Exchange, and you have Medallia breaking out of this neckline, broke this neckline, and now it could be running up to see these targets, man. Like, this, respect the TA, man. We'll see. 23%, 54%. That's a good little gain in my opinion. So that's Medallia. We talked about that. Talked about Litecoin for my man Brandon Rice. Talked about Litecoin. He asked on the podcast last night, was it a good, look at that, just like Bitcoin's price action. Looks just like Bitcoin. Talked about Litecoin and is it a good investment. I talked about how it's pegged to Bitcoin's price action and it follows Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's doing well, Litecoin should do very well as well. What else did we talk about? And we talked about the current state. Oh, this is that inverse head and shoulders too for y'all that missed it. Textbook stuff, man. Inverse head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern on completion signals, a bull market. Like, have I not found this setup, right? Medallia, inverse head and shoulders. This is Investopedia. This ain't Keenan talking. This is Investopedia, right? Investors typically enter into a long position when the price rises above the resistance of the neckline, right? Boom, textbook, people. So enter a long position. That's just saying that investors enter their positions in hopes that price is going up. That's over the next month, next time frame, over the next month, next week. This is the weekly chart. This play could take, a month to play out. It could take weeks. I don't know how long it'll take to play out. That's what swing traders do. And this is a swing trade from heaven. This is a swing trade from heaven. You got Medallia price action to its entirety, right? This is the total existence of Medallia, July 2015. No, I'm sorry, July 2019, right? Until now, this is Medallia, and it's forming an inverse head and shoulders. Super bullish, super bullish, right? Investopedia has confirmed that. Now we got the breakout. And we talked about Bitcoin's present price action, what it's doing right now. I was on Bitstamp, I think. No, I wasn't on Bitstamp. I was on GDAX. And you want to chart your assets on the same exchange in which you're buying. You don't want to be, I use GDAX. I use Bitstamp because it has a lot more data. When I want to look back and look at the past performance of this asset. That's why I use Bitstamp, but I buy and sell using GDAX, right? So that's why I do most of my chart number. If I want to go in further into the past, I can pull it up on Bitstamp. And those are just exchanges in which you can buy and sell cryptocurrency. Yeah, here we go. We got the breakout. Talked about Bitcoin now. Got the breakout of this symmetrical triangle. And now it's heading up. Broke above the 200-day moving average. And now we could see Bitcoin go and test its all-time highs. We'll see how it play out. And same thing, man. Just gotta get your education on, man. Like symmetrical triangles, right? Let's do a little, since I'm talking about it, I'm ready to get off. Symmetrical triangle pattern. You know what I look up all the time. Look at this, y'all. Woo! Here we go again, Investopedia. Here we go. Where's the picture? Come on. Load it up. This is not a good one. I hope I had one like that. I wish I had one like the other one. That's the one. All right. Well, anyway, key takeaway. Symmetrical triangles can occur when securities prices consolidate in a way that generates two converging trend lines, right? Converging trend lines. Where are we? Converging trend lines. One trend line, two trend line. You see how they're converging, right? Not inverse, symmetrical triangle, right? Key takeaways. So, and the breakout or breakdown targets for a symmetrical triangle is equal to the distance between the initial high, initial low applied to the breakdown point. Initial high, initial low. So this is the initial high, this is the initial low. That's where I got my measurement from for my target, right? That's how you get your target, people. All right, it's all internet information. Everything you want is right here online. Many traders use symmetrical triangles in conjunction with other forms of technical analysis that act as confirmation. That's how I was talking about getting above the 200-day moving average, right? How critical that is. Look at it selling off. We Bitcoin traders, hodlers, you want price to stay above this 200-day moving average. Now it's selling off, trying to threaten, right? Trying to threaten this to break back below this 200-day moving average. So let's see how it works out. So that's pretty much Bitcoin in a nutshell. Broke out that symmetrical triangle, right? We got our targets. We'll see what happens. And, and as you're in your trades, you scale out once you start to take profit. You can sit in them how long you want to. I'll typically scale out and just go ahead when, especially after we broke this 200-day moving average. And I know how price respects the 200-day moving average. So that why I would have pulled out there because, you could have expected a retracement from this 200-day moving average, So now we've gotten above that, you leave some of it in just in case this thing keeps riding. And when it reaches your next target, you pull out, you scale out, you pull out a little bit more, you leave some in, let it continue riding just in case this is the run up to 50,000. Once we can get above these highs over here, So, hey, that's how I play that. And let's track this retracement real quick. Let me throw some else on here real quick. Yay. How far? Oh yeah. Make this bigger. All right, cool. So Bitcoin Fibonacci retracement has retraced from this low point 61, right? 61%, 61.8% of the way to its all-time high, right? It's retraced back up 61% from this move, right? From this high to this high. Bitcoin has retraced back up 61%. Then the 618, that's a fib level. What do we know about fib levels, traders? That's typically 618, 786 is typically where harmonics reset, right? And you could, in these areas, see a reversal at the 618 and the 786. And look at what's happening live. I can't make this up. Bitcoin ran up, to retest the 618 moving average. I wish y'all could, let me do this so y'all can see that. So y'all can get this worked real quick. Where we at? Prices, labels. I want them on the right. All right, boo y'all. So you see price run all the way up to the 618. We know that's where 618, 786, we know that's where harmonics typically reset, right? Where you can see a reversal here, back to the downside here at this 618 level and 786, right? And look at price live. I can't make this up. Look at it struggling. Look at it run up to that 618 and respect that field level here live. Look at it struggling, trying to get above this field level, right? Look at that. Textbook TA ran straight up to it. Now it's getting rejected at the 618 where harmonics typically reset, and you can see a reversal. Look at this, man. Textbook stuff. Textbook stuff. See, now you're getting a break above it. It needs to close above this to continue moving upward, you know, but if it pulls back, man, if it pulls back, you just get your bag ready to buy the dip. You know, cryptocurrency, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And you can see where I got my levels marked out. Did I do this on the daily? Did I do this on the 4 hour when I initially came up with these targets? This is looking a little bit better like I did it on the daily. So this is where I'm buying, right? See, there's no need to panic here because the trend is intact. Look at this, man. Look at this 13-day moving average. Like, gotta know how to use these tools, man. Same thing with the 200. Look at this is a 13-day exponential moving average. And when I say moving averages, it's just price being calculated over that time period, 13 days. This is the trend line for Bitcoin's price action for the last 13 days. That's where that comes from. It's automatically calculated, generated, and that's the trend for the 13 days. Look at price action, man. It respects these moving averages. Like, look at it. Once it broke the 13, where did it come down and retest, right? The 34-day that's sitting right beneath it, like came to retest that 34-day area. So I know as a trader that if price breaks below the 13 EMA, it has a good chance of going to test this 34. So I'll just gobble up some here. And if it breaks below this, you know, it's probably a good chance that it'll come and test this 200-day moving average, man. Look at price action. Respect these moving averages. Broke the 13. But look at the respect along the way, man. See how it tested and held this 13 EMA as support when it finally broke through. Look at the 34. Right? Pop right back up above the 13-day EMA. Right? Look at it. Gets close to the 13 EMA. Keeps continue moving upward. Right? Look how the 13-day EMA has been respected. So we know from history that when price go below this 13-day EMA, you can expect it. You can expect it to test this 34. Look here. Look here recently. Like, look at this most recent move. Like, look at price. Look at it respect this 13. Right? Price came all the way down, wicked all the way back up off the 13-day moving average, right? Once it finally broke here, it came and tested the area. It didn't test it, you know, to a T, but it came down and tested the area of this 34-day exponential moving average. And it was important. You see the importance of getting above the 13-day EMA, right? Look at the importance when we get above the 13-day exponential moving average, right? That's when price moves upward. So look at what we've done. Traders, we are back well above the 13-day exponential moving average. So that's a good thing. Ran up to respect the 618. So let's see if price can get above the 618 or if it gets rejected here, people. So Bitcoin, it did recover and we're above the 13-day EMA on a daily time frame. So I'm still feeling good about this thing right now at this present time. So as always, if you need some help with anything, hit me up. I'm here to help. That's what I'm here for. Peace. I'm out. I'm going to check the comments and see if I got any, and I'll respond in the comments.